Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time. In this short presentation, I'm going to talk about VMware Cloud Director Availability. It's a one product, but has two outcomes depending on you as a provider. What do you want to really do? Do you want to migrate your customer's workload to your own cloud, or you want to provide customer an ability to deliver a DR as a service? It could be between your own data centers, or it could be from customer data centers to your own data center. This is meant for the cloud providers, or VCPP, what we used to call in the past. So it allows you to really deliver these services very, very quickly, right? So when you talk about Cloud Director Availability, we'll just go through a quick overview. What are the various integrations? What are the various components that we use and consume in this architecture, and how we make it happen along with the core features, and then definitely look at migration and DR workflows. So simple thing, even if you are doing it for the DR purpose, that's a end goal probably for you as a provider. But sometimes customers just say, hey, you know what, I would like to migrate my workloads to your cloud, and that's it. So one time thing, you do it, but then that gives you an opportunity to talk to your customer and say, hey, you know what, we are doing a migration, but if you really want to protect moving forward any of these workloads under a DR scenario, we can just use the same framework, same architecture, and enable those VMs DR protection when you are in the business. So one product with the two outcomes. So quickly, use case wise, again, as I said, you want to onboard and help customer to migrate workloads to your on-premise to your cloud environment as a disaster recovery scenario, or maybe customer wants to create and maintain and manage DR from your point of view as a provider. So there are three components that you will see that we use. Pretty much you are familiar probably with vCenter Server, certainly is required. Cloud Director, which is my cloud management portal or component, which will give me the multi-tenancy. So that's when it becomes little critical. How do I really provide protection to those VMs which are in a multi-tenant type of cloud, right? And of course, Cloud Director Service, if I have that as a option that I can also protect. Again, we want to keep it simple. It's all about simplicity. So that's where we are driving how quickly you can configure your environment that you want to protect or you want to migrate. Test it, because unless until you really do a testing of it, we don't want you to do a failover, right? And we want to make sure that you configure, you test, you verify, and then basically work with your customer and do the migration in a specific time window that is allocated by your customer, right? So advantages for the cloud providers. How many of you are cloud providers here? Can you raise your hands, please? Awesome, awesome. So Cloud Director Availability are nothing new to you guys, probably. But again, we want to make sure that, advantages that you can look it up. It's more like integrated, has a lot of native integrations with it now. When we started initially as one option, but now looking at vast acceptance of this particular product that provider has shown us. So we have improvised it, and we are fine-tuning it as we move forward, because underlying platform, underlying various VMware products, they come up with various features. So we kind of leverage them while we are delivering this Cloud Director. Again, as I said, multi-tenant, and again, you as a provider, you got to have a focus on your workflows. Me as a typical customer, I have my tenant workflows as well. As a provider, you can manage everything, or you can deliver it to a customer, and customer will manage that particular protection for their VMs as per their need, and accordingly you will get paid, right? So depending on how you really want to deliver it as a service, there are two main workflows that we normally talk about. So key integrations are, simple. You probably are familiar. As I said, it is well integrated with VMware Cloud Director, because that's where the main focus is. How can I move and how can I migrate my vSphere workload VMs to the Cloud Director? And if I have Cloud Director workloads, how can I protect them as well, right? When we started, it was more of a Cloud Director only workloads, but now with this version, we are able to migrate vSphere specific workloads to a Cloud Director as well, right? And probably you are familiar with the vRealize operations as well as tenant app, which we are improvising as we speak, and usage meter for metering billing, right? So if you are doing the migration, then you don't really have to pay anything. But if you are doing as a DR scenario, then whatever number of VMs you protect, those will be captured by the usage meter and you pay accordingly to us as a VMware. So that's the beauty of it. For migration, it's kind of free. But if you want to do a DR for some workloads, you pay whatever you protect those workloads with for your customers. Again, kind of showing you a UI. We have a video we'll play very, very quickly just to showcase that it is not just PowerPoint, but it's real thing. It's happening, and we have a lot of providers using this product, delivering DR as a service or migration as a service. Core features, as I said, it's more of a simplicity, providing ways to do an automated backup and restore of the appliances. So there are a few appliances that comes along with this as a solution. There's a tunnel appliance and there's a Cloud Director Availability appliances. So we want to make sure that they are protected, they are backed up, and they are also able to restore back. A lot of times that I've seen, everyone knows how to back up, but they never ever do any restore testing or capabilities, right? And when the time comes, it doesn't work. So it's always a rule of thumb that I recommend that running a backup is a good thing, but restoring it successfully has to have in your operational guidance that, hey, every quarter, restore it, test it, make sure that your backups are successfully done and you are able to restore when you need to. Again, that kind of ties down to your application SLA profiles that you define as a part of VCDA. Migration workflows or DR workflows, I'll just click through this very, very quickly. But simple 5 steps that we want to make sure that you are able to really run your protection for the workloads in 5 steps. From your virtual data center to your storage policies, and also variations of your SLAs that you can define, like whether it's a platinum, gold, or silver type of SLAs that you have, for an example, right? And after that, you are done. So very, very simple. Once you deploy those appliances, configure it, you can define these other workflows in very quickly to protect your workloads. And similarly, it's a restore process that I was talking about. Pretty much, straightforward, UI based, depending on whether you want to do it for your customer or you hand off control to your customer and if they want to do it by themselves. So depending on your choice or customer choice, both the things are available and possible. Okay, and a migration, right? This is another use case that you have the framework, you have everything running with a one-click migration. You select a VM or multiple VMs, and you say, hey, I would like to have my first destination as VDC with this storage policy from the list, and then it will just take care of migrating those VMs actually once your application is established and once a replication is ready for the final cutover. So again, recovery plans, you probably are familiar with VMware SRM as a product. Similarly, that we have recovery plans that we can define, we can play with, we can test it, and then basically do a final execution of those recovery plans when we are running through the actual cutover of my virtual machines to the destination. Again, this is very, very well use case. We are refining it, but a lot of customers have had issues with templates. So how can we replicate those templates using this particular tool as well? So if you have a global environment and if you want to replicate, an option is given here as well. Cloud Director is coming up with a Content Hub. Content Hub is also refining it, and we are going with a global Content Hub, which will help you replicate your templates really, really quickly and available across all the regions. So a typical, high-level diagram about if I have vSphere workloads and if I want to migrate them to my cloud or you as a provider to your cloud, you can do that very, very easily and seamlessly. It doesn't matter whether it's a VCDA-based workloads or not. Even if it's a vSphere-based workloads for your customer, you can migrate them to your data center in a multi-tenant environment as well, or just put it into the vSphere environment as well. And again, highlights, tunnel appliances, high availability was a key thing. That's where basically we do all the replication things and control it, the overall bandwidth. And the mode, we used to have active passive, now you can have active mode. And that all the traffic that is being, going through this tunnel is all well balanced, right? And Again, if you have anyone running Cloud Director in clouds or Cloud Director service, it's available as well. And few of the features of vSphere migration that we did, bandwidth throttling, very important, public API. A lot of providers that we have seen, they have their own way of managing it through their different tools. So they have a way to really use API. So if you want to use API, you have an option to do it as well. And I think I'll just go quickly with few demos. So this is my recovery demo in terms of tenant perspective. So if I'm an end user, if I'm a customer, how do I do it? So it's kind of giving you an option from where I can click on DR migrations and basically understand what am I replicating, VMs or my template, and where the outgoing VMs are, how much they are replicated, and basically giving me the clarity on the overall progress of my replication, and if I'm ready to do this particular cutover of a VM. So protect our migrating workload, very easy, simple, intuitive, defined with a few parameters, and essentially it allows you to go really quickly. I'll just run through this very, very fast, but essentially you define these parameters and test your failover, test your configuration, and perform the failover when you are ready with your customer. It will give the prompt, it will say you are ready to do a failover because replication is in sync and you're fine. So this is about the view of my tenant, and I have a provider view as well. As a provider, what are things you would do? So here, the dashboard gives you clear status of various aspects of my environment, configuration, replication status, which I am doing the replication. And I can go and pick up a plan and define various aspects of the services that I can come up with various policies for a given customer ABC, and essentially drive the next steps on making sure that the service is available as per the SLA defined, platinum, bronze, or gold, and then the customer is able to consume that service once it is available from the provider perspective. So a lot of more details are available, and these are the videos available on VCPP YouTube channel that you can go and have a look. With that said, thanks for your time. I hope it was useful, and we'll see more of a VCDA questions coming back to us pretty soon. Thank you very much.